5 fun facts about Algeria. Let's do it. The first fact is Algeria is the biggest country in Africa, making it bigger than 186 countries in the whole world at 2.38 square kilometers. The second fact is Algeria is last on the scale when it comes to social capital, meaning making friends locally in the neighborhood, like your friends. But the third fact is a bit more positive towards Algeria, because Algeria is the best country in the world when it comes to SSH, safety, security, health, meaning your workers' safety, doing their job in the country. The fourth fact is the Algerian dialect of Arabic is the hardest dialect in the whole language. The fifth fact is there's almost more French Algerian speakers than Arabic Algerian speakers, which is crazy. Laun Mothibik. 5 fun facts about the United States, let's do it. The first fact is the United States has the most international students in the world, meaning students in school which came from different countries at 4 million. The second fact is the US is number 1 in the Olympics of all time with the most medals at 2,629. So do you know the country of Malaysia? Well, it originally was going to have their flag with 13 stripes, but the US had 13 stripes before them, so they wanted to change fast to 14 so they wouldn't copy the US. What's your favorite climate? Well, in the US, you'll probably find it, because US is the only country in the world with all climate zones: continental, temperate, tropical, dry, and polar. The fifth fact is the US has the world's largest office building called the Pentagon with 6.5 million square feet. Please subscribe. 5 fun facts about Morocco, let's do it. The first fact is of course Morocco's most spoken language is Arabic and the second is Berber, but the third is French, the fourth is Italian, and the fifth is Dutch. Since Morocco has a lot more schools than you would think, the second fact is Morocco has the highest literacy rate in all of Africa at 94%, meaning the amount of people which can read. The third fact is Morocco is home to the oldest university in the entire world called Al Ghurayyuin. So other than Hollywood, the fourth fact is Morocco has the biggest filming set in the world called the Atlas Film Studios. The fifth fact is in Marrakech, Morocco, there's a city called the Pink City, which is known for being all pink due to the local sandstone used for construction. 5 fun facts about the Bahamas, let's do it. The first fact is the name Bahamas actually comes from the Spanish word Bahamar, meaning shallow sea, and as you could tell, it lives up to its meaning. The second fact is Bahamas only had snow for 1 day in 200 years. The only time Bahamas ever got a drop of snow is in January 1977, when they got their first snow winter. In the Bahamas, there's a beach called Pig Beach, which as the name tells, has 20 to 50 pigs on the island. Do you know Pirates of the Caribbean? The movie series was filmed in a lot of Caribbean countries, but the majority of the time in the series was filmed in the Bahamas, and the most liked Caribbean country by Johnny Depp himself. The fifth fact is the Bahamas is the best place to go for snorkeling. Please subscribe. 5 fun facts about China, let's do it. You'll probably know that Chinese is one of the most spoken languages in the world. But the first fact is something you might not know, is there's over 300 dialects of Chinese. What do you call it in your country? Football, soccer, calculus? Well, the second fact is soccer was invented over 2,000 years ago in China, and they called it 春季, meaning kicking ball. Do you guys like ice cream? Well, if you do, you should thank China for that, because the third fact is China invented ice cream around 4,000 years ago by combining milk and snow. The fourth fact is China has the most railways in the world. If we put all the railways into one, it would overlap the world twice with some still left over. It would be weird to put China and alligators together, but China has some of the rarest and biggest alligators in the world, calling it the Chinese alligator. King Ding Ye. 5 fun facts about Ireland, let's do it. Do you know Eurovision, the game show? Well, the first fact is Ireland is the most successful country in the whole show having 7 wins. If you know a thing or two about Ireland, you'll know that Ireland has a lot of pubs, but what you might not know is Ireland has the oldest pub in the world. They like their pubs just as much as Americans like McDonald's. You know, some sport fans, whenever someone scores, they shout or cheer? Well, you might see that often in Ireland because the third fact is by tourists, Ireland has the craziest sport fans in the whole world. You like the name Ireland? Well, it wasn't always called that because over 2,000 years ago, people called Ireland Hibernia or Eire. Do you know the Game of Thrones? It is one of the most popular series in the world. And the fifth fact is Game of Thrones was entirely filmed and created in Ireland. Leo style, letotoyo. 3 truths and a lie about Afghanistan, let's do it. The first one is Afghanistan was claimed to have the first farmers in the world. The second one is Afghanistan and US are the 2 only countries in the world which have more guns than people at 127%. The third one is in Afghanistan, you shake your right hand with someone if you respect the person, and you shake your left hand with someone, that means they need to brush their teeth. And the fourth one is in Afghanistan, only 1% of the people speak Arabic at 410,000 people only. Did you figure out which one was the lie? You get 5 seconds. The lie was, Afghanistan does not have more guns than people. The percentage is not 127%, it is 11%. Please subscribe. 5 fun facts about Bhutan, let's do it. The first fact is Bhutan is the only country in the world which doesn't have a single traffic light in its country. Even the Vatican City has at least one. So a lot of people might be watching this on a TV, but the second fact is Bhutan was the last country in the world to get a TV. Who watching this has been to a mountain before? You hiked and reached the top? Well, if you're in Bhutan, that's one of the main things to do because 99.8% of the entire country is just mountains. So you know plastic is polluting the world, right? Well, Bhutan takes it really seriously because the fourth fact is in Bhutan, it is illegal and you can serve 6 months in jail just for plastic. You don't need to worry about education and healthcare in Bhutan because the fifth fact is it's completely free. 5 fun facts about Greece, let's do it. If you look at Greece on a map, you'll think it's very small, but you'll think it's big when you hear it has the 10th biggest coastline in the world due to the thousands of islands. Greece's coastline is bigger than China's and India's. You might know that 3 times more tourists visit Greece than its population, but what you might not know is the second fact, which is 20% of their GDP is tourists, which is the biggest percentage in the world. The capital of Greece is Athens, and the third fact is it is actually named after the Greek god Athena. The fourth fact is Greece is in the top 5 of the largest olive producers in the world. I wonder if they have Olive Garden there. Do you like going to the theaters? Well, the fifth fact is Athens, the capital city of Greece, has more theaters than any city in the world at 148. Paracalo en graffiti. 5 fun facts about Japan, let's do it. So you know how people sometimes slurp noodles? Well, in Japan, it's not rude because the first fact is in Japan, slurping noodles means you are enjoying the food and you love it. Number 4 in Japan is shi, and the second fact is Japanese people try to avoid that word because they think it's unlucky. The reason is the number 4 is similar to the Japanese word death. You know when you go to a train or airplane and there might be a slight delay? Well, in Japan, it'll be less likely because the average Japanese delay is 18 seconds. Do you have a signature hard to memorize? Well, if you come to Japan, it'll be easier because in Japan, they use seals instead, which is your name translated into Japanese alphabet called kanji. So you know ninjas? Well, the fifth fact is Japan has anti-ninja floors, which is made squeaky so you'll hear when they come. Zahiko toroku kurasai. Guess the country part 1? Let's do it. The first clue out of 4 is this country's currency is called a peso. I'm not going to tell you what continent this country is in, but I am going to tell you that it's the 3rd least populated country in its continent with only 3 million people. Do you know the flag of the United States? Well, it has the same style, stripes with the symbol at the top left. The last one is this is the second smallest country in its continent, but it's almost 2 times bigger than Guatemala, being almost 200,000 square kilometers. Did you figure out the country? You get 5 seconds. The country was Uruguay. Subscribe for more. 5 fun facts about India, let's do it. Do you know the famous board game Snakes and Ladders? Well, the first fact is the concept Snakes and Ladders was created in India in the 2nd century. If I say the question which country made the most movies, you'd probably say, oh, US for sure, they have Hollywood. But actually, India has made almost 2 times more movies than the US, being the largest producer of films in the world. Even the name Hollywood is named after the Indian one, Bollywood. In my 5 fun facts about Bolivia video, I said Bolivia has the most official languages in the world. Well, India has the most dialects of languages in the world, being over 20,000. The 4th fact is India has a highway called Leh Kartir Baltic, which is basically made as an optical illusion. The 5th fact was India both had the first miners in the world and mined the first diamonds in the world. Kripaya Satasya Talin. 5 fun facts about Canada, let's do it. The first fact is Canada has the longest coastline in the world, having over 200,000 square kilometers, which is 32% of the entire Earth's coastline. Does anyone watching this short like basketball? It's one of the most known sports in the world, and the second fact is basketball was created in Canada in 1891 by James Naismith. The third fact is Canada has over 2 million lakes, which is more lakes than the entire world, combined. The 4th fact is every season, Canada always gets a different national sport. For example, Canada's national sport in winter is hockey, but when it's summer, the national sport changes to lacrosse. If you're watching this video, there's a chance that you're on your phone. And the 5th fact is Canada created the first phone starting in 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell. Please subscribe. 5 fun facts about Ukraine, let's do it. Have you ever heard of an underwater river? Well, in Ukraine, it isn't a literal river, but it conveys the illusion that there is a river underwater, being the only one in the entire world. The second fact is Ukraine was the first country in the world to use a constitution, so technically that makes Ukraine the oldest official country in the entire world. The third fact is Ukraine has the oldest made map in the world, made on a mammoth bone, which is over 4,000 years old. And before you ask, the screenshot on the screen is a remade version. What's your favorite electric instrument? The electric guitar, piano? Well, the 4th fact is Ukraine was actually the first to use electric instruments in 1920. The 5th fact is Ukraine is one of the most educated countries by terms of 83% of all Ukrainians enrolling at college at some point. Будь ласка, подпишися.